Welcome home, Yellow Jackets. I'm Bob Lindgren, and I'm just so excited to have you back, albeit virtually, for our annual reunion weekend celebration. This online gathering has been full of opportunities to reconnect with your fellow alumni and to reinvigorate your relationship with RMC. And I thank all your amazing volunteers working with our advancement staff who creatively developed and implemented an excellent and fun way for us to still gather and see each other this weekend. It is my pleasure to bring you up to date on a few things that have happened at your alma mater recently. And who knew the many stories that we would have to tell today when we sent our students home back in March 2020, thinking at the time we would see them again in just 2 short weeks. That world sure did change, didn't it? And RMC has changed as well. But I can assure you of one overriding impression. The Randolph-Macon spirit of resiliency was never more apparent than throughout this past academic year. Our exceptional faculty worked tirelessly to redesign courses, teaching them in multiple formats, and importantly, ensuring academic excellence and continuity. And our outstanding students gracefully and successfully pivoted time and time again. When we came back for the fall of 2020, we had about 85% of our usual number of students living on campus. And we broke our semester into 2 7-week sessions, with most students taking 2 courses each session, allowing us to limit student movement and interaction with our numerous in-person restrictions in place. We had all in a quite successful fall, ranking among our peer institutions with lower COVID cases than most. And after initially starting the second semester in a shelter-in-place mode, we eventually were able to offer more in-person classes, expanded athletic opportunities, and even hosted a COVID-19 vaccination clinic here on campus. Competing in condensed seasons, our athletic accomplishments start with the fact that all of our athletes trained and competed, no small feat this year, when many campuses, including the Ivy League, simply canceled athletics. And our highlights included our Yellow Jacket football team going undefeated, shutting out Hampton-Sydney 28-0 and winning the ODAC's first ever spring football championship. Our women's basketball team, under new head coach Lindsay Burke, and by the way, that's the first time we could say that phrase in over 33 years after our distinguished coach, Carol LaHaye, closed out her remarkable career. Well, our women's team started a new era by finishing its abbreviated season undefeated. And our men's basketball team, they simply could not have done any better. Under National Coach of the Year Josh Merkel, our Yellow Jackets competed during their entire season as the #1 ranked Division III team in the country. And with the NCAA tournament canceled for Division III, our guys even played a special add-on game in Crenshaw Gymnasium with the nation's #2 ranked Division III team at the end of the season, Trine University from Indiana, who we beat by 14 points. So as spring arrived, you could just sense that a positive change was in the air. And in late May, we held in-person commencement ceremonies for the class of 2021 and the class of 2020 to make up for the one they missed a year ago. These 2 classes of graduates embodied the grit, determination, and resiliency that RMC students are known for. And while each of these classes experienced a different Randolph-Macon educational experience during their senior years, I congratulated all of our graduates for many things, but especially their stick-to-itiveness. With these unprecedented experiences and significant life lessons, they are certainly prepared for promising futures. I also want to emphasize that our successful perseverance throughout the pandemic was due in large part to a faculty and staff who continued to be remarkable in their devotion to RMC and in their mission of teaching and mentoring. And students who are willing and able to take seriously the responsibility to protect their own health and that of their classmates and others in the RMC community. We also had a terrific core planning team dealing with pandemic issues on campus, headed by our provost, Dr. Elisa Rosenthal, who in just her second year at RMC is doing a fantastic job. Yes, a lot has happened during the past year, and it hasn't all been about the pandemic. It would be difficult and a serious oversight to ignore the impact the stunning images from last summer's national social unrest had on our community and the much needed conversations about race and social justice which have continued on our campus since. In response, I organized RMC's Racial Equity and Opportunity Commission last fall, made up of 26 students, faculty, staff, alumni, and board members. Last summer, we had engaged with the Virginia Center for Inclusive Communities, who conducted meaningful surveys and focus groups on campus, which have helped inform the Commission's work. And the Commission has been focusing on steps we can take to make the Randolph-Macon experience more accessible and effective, what we can enhance and what barriers we can eradicate to make RMC a better place for all, and specifically those historically underrepresented here. We want to create a more diverse, inclusive, and welcoming environment where all faculty, staff, and especially student members of the RMC community can thrive and fulfill their true potential. Indeed, through difficult times, pandemic, social reckoning, and other life interruptions come needed change and enlightenment. And as a result, I firmly believe we are primed to emerge a stronger institution, one that is even better equipped to prepare our students, all of our students, for a world that continues to evolve rapidly. And while we are facing challenging times, it is also important to celebrate the continued growth and improvement we have seen here on campus. Amidst an uncertain time, our college continues to grow, and yes, even prosper. The fall of 2020 saw us welcome our largest enrollment ever, over 1,550 students. And while welcoming more new faces, we have continued to look at necessary improvements to our academic offerings and our infrastructure. Fall 2020 saw the opening of Payne Hall, our newest building, which also houses both our newest academic program, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and provides additional well-equipped classrooms and offices for general academic use. This state-of-the-art facility is located between Smithy and Fox Halls, and its name, Payne Hall, honors two extraordinary men and their important role in RMC's history. Haywood A. Hap Payne, Jr., distinguished alumnus and trustee emeritus, was our first African-American student in 1966, and RMC's 13th president, Liddell Payne, who served RMC with distinction for 17 years. If you haven't yet seen our special Payne Hall dedicatory video here on our website, I encourage you to take a look. And needed renovations to our Blackwell Auditorium are also well underway and include important additions as well, namely a new black box theater for our theater program and a large rehearsal space for our recently added orchestra program and our burgeoning show choir. Scheduled to reopen this fall, RMC's Center for the Performing Arts will serve as a hub for the performing arts both on campus and in the Ashland community. And renovations to Estes Dining Hall are underway this summer as well, set to provide additional space for student dining and more natural lighting and better ambiance. We are also continuing to plan for the future. I'm especially proud of the work our faculty and staff have been doing in developing new programs and initiatives, including 12 new majors in the past 10 years or so. Many of these programs had their startup expenses covered by our highly important Brock Venture Fund. One such initiative is the college's first graduate program, set to launch in 2023, offering a Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies. And our recent engineering major, with its expectation of accreditation in 2 to 3 years, has been an important addition as well. This year's RMC faculty approved a new applied mathematics major, which builds upon the college's existing mathematics major and presents a wealth of opportunities for students in this data-driven world. Applied mathematics sits at the intersection of mathematics, science, and engineering, complementing our rigorous liberal arts ethos. I'm also thrilled about Duke Hall, our newest building project that will be located behind the stands on the west side of Day Field, as it will host our PA program and support the college's long-standing tradition of athletic excellence. This 3-story building will provide, in addition to the PA space, 3 large general use classrooms, as well as 6 women's and men's locker rooms, a training facility, coaches' offices, conference and meeting rooms, and an event space for small gatherings. Yes, even during this uncertain time, we have continued to grow and evolve. Remaining stagnant and complacent is simply not an option if RMC is to remain the vibrant place that we love and value. Which brings us to today. Indeed, we have great expectations heading towards the start of the 2021-22 academic year. We are looking forward to this fall as we plan to provide students with as close to the traditional Randolph-Macon educational experience that we know and cherish as we possibly can. We are developing plans for classes to meet in person while continuing to monitor mitigation recommendations for educational settings. We anticipate the return of most students to on-campus living, an important part of the Randolph-Macon experience, and are just as excited to allow in-person dining, student group activities that support teamwork and citizenship, and our traditional athletic opportunities with fans and social gatherings that create long-lasting relationships. We also have made the decision that students, faculty, and staff must be fully vaccinated for the COVID-19 for the fall semester. We weighed this decision very carefully and are convinced this is the most effective way to return to the in-person activities that define the traditional RMC educational experience, and to do so as quickly as possible. I sincerely appreciate the continued support that you, our dedicated, outstanding alumni, have provided throughout this time, whether by helping us identify and recruit prospective students through our effective Refer a Yellow Jacket program, or helping our students and recent graduates connect to internships and jobs through the Bassett Internship Program and our EDGE Career Center. Your assistance is always deeply appreciated, and the generous financial support of you, our alumni, has allowed us to be even more innovative and responsive to our students' varied needs during a highly uncertain time. And I so love to tell our prospective students and families how RMC has ranked in the top 25 or so of more than 3,000 colleges and universities in the percentage of our alumni making a gift, That's the top 25, not 25%, of over 3,000 institutions. Every single one of them soliciting their alumni, just like us. That so many of you contribute speaks volumes to prospective students about your gratitude, your loyalty, and the power of the RMC Alumni Network. These characteristics are remarkably persuasive and show the power of your alumni gifts regardless of size. And one last thing. I told your newest fellow alumni, the members of the class of 2020 and 2021 at their graduations, to mark their calendars for RMC's homecoming on October 8 and 9. I encourage you to do the same as we look forward to welcoming everyone, including you, back to campus in person this fall. And as you continue to celebrate Reunion Weekend, I want to personally thank you for all that you do to support our students, faculty, and staff. Together as one RMC family, we are building an extraordinary future. Go Jackets!